I want you to do me a favor. Just for a second, close your eyes and picture a city in Japan.
I bet I know what you're saying.
Right. For most of you, I'm guessing you immediately see Tokyo. You picture that, restrained, hyper-organized metropolis.
Yeah, the spotless subways, everyone bowing and whispering.
Exactly. But keep your eyes closed, because I want to completely rewrite that image in your head. Instead of quiet order, I want you to picture a wide canal reflecting these blazing, multicolored neon lights.
Oh, and the sheer scale of the crowd.
Yes! There's this giant, glowing Running Man sign dominating the skyline. You look down the street and there is literally a massive mechanical octopus waving its arms above an avenue that is just packed shoulder to shoulder with laughing, shouting people.
It's an absolute sensory overload the second you step out of the station.
And the air, it almost has texture. It smells like sizzling batter and rich dashi broth.
Which is that incredible umami-heavy stock they make from kelp and dried fish flakes.
Right. And there's a vendor on the corner rhythmically chanting over a hot griddle while flipping these hot octopus balls, the takoyaki. It's loud, people are standing way closer to you than you'd ever expect in Japan, and the food is so abundant you're going to eat until you physically cannot move.
It's the best.
Okay, you can open your eyes now. We are not in Tokyo, we are in Osaka.
The city known historically as Tenkano Daidokuro, right? The kitchen of the nation.
Okay, let's unpack this because reading through our sources today, Osaka feels like a completely different universe compared to that manicured, globalized Japan we usually see exported to the West.
It really is.
Our mission for this deep dive is to go through this fascinating expat guide to the Kansai region to figure out what it actually takes to move to and live in Osaka. We're looking at the culture, the money, and the very strict visa laws.
And the stakes of understanding this difference are massive if you're actually considering a move. Tokyo consistently gets the global spotlight. It's polished, corporate, and it arguably caters more heavily to Western expectations of efficiency.
Yeah, it's very buttoned up.
Exactly. But Osaka offers a profoundly unpretentious way to experience Japan. I mean, we're analyzing a city with 2.7 million residents, sitting inside a broader metro area of nearly 20 million people. It's the economic heart of Western Japan, operating on a social wavelength that is just entirely its own.
So to understand the sheer volume of that noise and why the people are so wonderfully direct, we have to rewind the clock to the city's foundations.
You have to look at the history.
Right. Osaka was actually settled in ancient times as Naniwa, which was a 7th century port capital long before Tokyo or Kyoto ever rose up.
Way before.
But the modern soul of the city really cemented itself in the 16th century. There was this warlord, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, who unified Japan after a grueling civil war, and he chose the spot as his base.
Yeah, he completed the massive Osaka castle in 1585.
This giant golden 5-story keep right above the cherry trees. But the real cultural engine wasn't the castle itself. It was the merchant class that set up shop in its shadow.
And when you look at its neighboring cities during that era, the contrast is just stark. Kyoto served as the imperial capital, right? So it was built for aristocrats, temples, incredibly delicate etiquette.
Super strict.
Very strict. And then Edo, which is modern-day Tokyo, was the military capital. It was governed by samurai and rigid class structures where stepping out of line could literally be fatal.
But Osaka was fundamentally different.
Right. It was the city of merchants, of commerce, and upward mobility.
They were the financial engineers of their time. They invented the world's first rice futures market.
Which is wild.
They were trading contracts for harvests that hadn't even been planted yet.
Yeah.
And that influx of wealth didn't go to military conquests, it went into arts and indulgence. They funded the first major kabuki theater.
And they coined that famous local phrase.
Kudaro, which literally translates to eating yourself into ruin. I mean, when a city's civic pride is based on spending every last dime on a fantastic meal, that tells you everything about their priorities.
It really does. And that economic foundation naturally fosters a specific social climate. When your society is built on trade and negotiation, rather than, strict samurai hierarchies or royal bloodlines, it creates a flatter social structure.
A lot more egalitarian.
Exactly. You have to haggle. You have to read the person across the table. That breeds a louder, more direct, and fundamentally warmer way of interacting with people. Commerce requires connection.
I love this analogy we were talking about earlier. If Tokyo is a mix of Washington, D.C.'s political restraint and Wall Street's suits, Osaka operates more like a mix of Chicago and New Orleans.
That's a great way to put it.
It's blue-collar, direct, and just wildly food-obsessed. The locals even have a running joke where they proudly declare they aren't Japanese, they're simply Osakan.
And the physical layout of the city today is a direct descendant of that merchant history. It's mapped into very purposeful zones.
Okay, lay it out for us.
So in the north, around the Umeda district, you find the hypermodern business and transit hub. It's characterized by massive towers and these endless, labyrinthine, underground shopping cities that run for miles.
I've heard you can just get lost down there forever.
Oh, absolutely. And the reason they built downward was to escape the summer weather and seamlessly connect the massive railway terminals, bringing commuters in from Kyoto and Kobe.
And then you travel south to Nama and Dotonbori, and that's where you hit the neon sensory assault.
The heart of it all.
Right. This is the entertainment and food hub running dusk till dawn. Historically, this was the canal district where all the theaters and pleasure quarters were, and it just evolved into the neon-soaked dining capital.
You also have these fascinating historical pockets, like Shinsekai to the southeast. It retains this gritty early 20th century vibe anchored by the Tsukunkaku Tower.
And out by the Bay Area, revitalized for the 1970 World Expo, you've got modern maritime architecture and that massive temples on Ferris wheel.
Yeah. But honestly, the landmarks are impressive. But the texture of the city is best understood through the daily routine of the people.
Totally. Our source paints such a vivid picture of this. A typical morning might start in a traditional kisetten like an old-school Showa-era coffee shop.
Grabbing a morning set.
Yeah. Thick-cut toast, a small salad, a boiled egg, and a drip coffee. Or, alternatively, you duck into a standing udon shop. You can order a bowl of thick Osaka-style udon in hot dashi broth for somewhere between 500 and 800 yen.
Which is, what, $3 to $5 US?
Yeah, super cheap. And you're slurping your noodles while a salaryman standing right next to you is loudly arguing with the cook about the local baseball team, the Hanshin Tigers.
And the evenings just amplify that energy. You might wander through Kurumon Market, which locals call Osaka's kitchen.
Eating hormone.
Right, charcoal grilled offal. It's a total staple of the working class diet. And then eventually, you end up at a takinomiya, a standing bar, maybe near the Ibisu Bridge, under the glow of that Glico sign.
This is the part of the guide that really stands out to me. The intimacy of the city is forced upon you in the best way possible.
They really can't avoid it.
You walk into these tiny standing bars that seat, or rather, stand, maybe 6 people total. You're shoulder to shoulder with locals, drinking nihonshu, traditional Japanese rice wine, while the chef is cooking on a hot plate inches from your face.
And they don't just hand you a bill in silence.
No, they look you in the eye and demand to know if you enjoyed the food.
It's because the physical geography dictates that interaction. Narrow alleyways, tiny craft workshops hidden behind giant neon boulevards, these micro bars, they ensure you cannot remain anonymous.
You're part of the show.
Exactly. It's chaotic and raw, but that enforced physical closeness is the mechanism that creates such a deeply welcoming community. You're forced to talk, so you end up making friends.
You can't hide in a 6-seat bar.
Yeah.
But, okay, the real shock isn't the intimacy, it's the bill at the end of the night. Because sustaining this eating yourself into ruin lifestyle leads to the biggest difference between Osaka and Tokyo, the math.
Yes. The cost of living is vastly lower. It's one of the primary practical advantages for anyone considering relocating there.
The numbers in this guide are actually staggering. If you want to rent a 1K or 1DK apartment, which is basically a studio or a small one-bedroom, right in the center of the city, rent falls between 60,000 and 90,000 yen a month.
Let that sink in.
Right. Think about your rent right now. In Osaka, you are paying roughly 400 to 600 US dollars a month for a central location. Even upgrading to a larger 1LDK or 2LDK apartment maxes out around 130,000 yen.
Which is about $800. And for those looking at long-term investments, there are zero legal restrictions for foreigners purchasing property in Japan.
Wait, none at all?
None. And real estate in Osaka is roughly 30 to 40% cheaper than comparable properties in Tokyo.
That's incredible. And the daily expenses scale down just as beautifully. A high-quality meal at a local restaurant is $7 to $14. Street food, like a plate of takoyaki, is $3.
It's so affordable.
The guide calculates a very comfortable monthly budget for a single person, covering rent, food, transportation, and utilities at between $1,600 and $2,000. You're living in the center of one of the world's greatest food hubs for a fraction of what a mid-sized American city would cost.
And this financial reality has massive ripple effects. This lower cost of living isn't just a fun perk for expats, it's the engine driving Osaka's rapidly expanding startup ecosystem.
Because overhead is so low.
Exactly. Rent is so manageable that Osaka is actively pulling young, highly skilled tech talent and entrepreneurs away from Tokyo. It's cultivating this vibrant, modern professional class that works side by side with the traditional merchants.
And the public infrastructure supports that perfectly. The national healthcare system is world-class. You pay into the public insurance scheme for a very reasonable monthly premium, and it covers 70% of all medical costs.
Leaving you with a really low 30% copay.
Yeah. Plus, the connectivity is seamless. Kansai International Airport is 50 minutes away, offering direct 11-hour flights to LA. You can hop on a bullet train and be in Tokyo in 2.5 hours, or take a local rapid train to the temples of Kyoto in 15 minutes.
Or Nara in 45 minutes.
It's perfectly located.
But there is a significant environmental catch to all this accessibility and affordability.
Uh-oh.
The climate is not for the faint of heart.
Yeah, the summer weather section of the guide reads like a survival manual.
Summer in the Kansai region is notoriously oppressive. From July through September, temperatures consistently sit in the 90s. But it's the humidity that's the real challenge. Our source describes the summer air as wrapping around you like a hot, wet towel.
Ugh, brutal.
And June brings the rainy season with steady, weeks-long precipitation. Then that's immediately followed by typhoon season in August and September, which regularly sweeps these powerful storms up from the Pacific.
Winters are mild and dry, though, hovering in the 40s and 50s. But you really have to mentally prepare yourself to sweat through those 3 brutal summer months.
True. But if you can endure the humidity, the much larger hurdle is entirely man-made.
Right, because if the tech scene is spewing, transit is world-class, and rent is $400, the obvious question is why millions of foreigners haven't already relocated there.
And the barrier isn't money.
No, it's the border. The cold, hard reality of Japanese immigration law is incredibly strict.
Yeah, the romance of the neon canals hits a solid brick wall of state bureaucracy. For instance, there is no retirement visa in Japan.
Wow, none.
None. If you're a financially independent person looking to spend your golden years eating udon in Osaka, your paths are extremely limited. They offer a long-stay visa, but it requires holding over 30 million yen in cash savings.
Wait, 30 million?
Yeah, and it completely prohibits any form of work and does not provide a pathway to permanent residency. Also, simply working remotely on the standard 90-day tourist visa remains a legal gray area that the government actively discourages.
Well, what about the new digital nomad visa? Because Japan just launched this in April 2024, and on paper, it sounds like the perfect loophole for remote workers.
The barrier to entry for that specific visa is exceptionally high. To qualify, an applicant has to prove an annual income of at least 10 million yen, which is roughly 67,000 US dollars.
Okay, that's somewhat high, but doable for tech workers.
Sure, but additionally, you must carry private health insurance with at least 10 million yen in medical coverage.
Ah, gotcha. But even if a listener meets those financial requirements, the timeline is just absurd. You get approved, you pack up your life, move to Osaka, establish a routine, and the visa expires in exactly 6 months.
And it cannot be extended.
Right, it doesn't count toward permanent residency. And you are legally required to leave the country for 6 months before you can even apply to come back.
Yeah.
I mean, that isn't moving to a new city. That is just a heavily regulated sabbatical.
It is a deliberate friction. What you're seeing with this digital nomad visa is the real-time tension defining modern Japan. They are facing a severe demographic crisis with an aging population, right? So they desperately need the capital injection that foreign remote workers bring.
Yeah, they need the money.
But there is an equally strong desire to preserve their social fabric and strictly control long-term integration. They want the spending power of the nomads, but they are terrified of the cultural disruption that permanent, unassimilated residents might cause.
So to actually build a life there, you have to offer something they specifically need.
Exactly.
Realistic paths means securing a highly skilled visa like those tech professionals being pulled from Tokyo, or navigating the Aikaiwa industry, which are private English conversational schools, or working as an ALT, an assistant language teacher, inside the public school system, or, of course, a spouse visa.
And assuming you manage to secure that long-term visa, you arrive at the final and perhaps most difficult hurdle.
Cultural assimilation.
Right. The foreign community in Osaka is growing, but it remains significantly smaller and less organized than the massive expat bubble in Tokyo. You cannot rely on an English-speaking ecosystem to navigate your daily life.
Going to the post office, picking up meds at the pharmacy, ordering food at the izakaya, it all requires Japanese.
And not just standard textbook Japanese.
No, Osaka runs on the Kansai dialect. Our sources note that it is faster, more melodic, and uses entirely different vocabulary for common phrases.
It's distinct enough that even native Japanese speakers from Tokyo sometimes struggle to follow a rapid-fire conversation in an Osaka bar.
So language is the ultimate key to integration here. Because the culture is so social and direct, your ability to participate in that merchant-style banter basically dictates your experience of the city.
Furthermore, while Osaka is incredibly safe by global standards, with exceptionally low violent crime rates, it retains an edge. It's grittier and more chaotic than Tokyo.
I'll speak directly to you, the listener, for a second. Knowing your own personality is the deciding factor here. If you hate small talk, if you require hyper-organization, and your dream of Japan involves silent Zen gardens and people leaving you completely alone, Osaka will overwhelm you within a week.
Absolutely.
But if you embrace the noise, if you don't mind navigating chaotic, narrow streets, and you genuinely want a chef who demands a review to your face, it is absolute paradise.
Yeah. We should really redefine what safety means in the context of Osaka. It is not the sanitized, quiet, suburban safety of a gated community. It's a deeply communal safety.
Yeah.
When the chef yells at you, or the stranger next to you at the standing bar starts pouring you Nihonshu after 2 minutes, that is the community actively pulling you into their web. You are safe in Osaka because you are seen.
Safe because you are seen. I love that. That perfectly captures the soul of the city. Bringing this all together, Osaka is offering a truly rare combination. You have profound historical depth tracing back to the warlords of the 16th century.
You have a staggeringly affordable cost of living where you can thrive on $2,000 a month.
And you have a cultural personality big enough to fill a neon-lit canal. You just have to be willing to endure the summer humidity and successfully navigate some of the strictest immigration laws in the developed world.
It demands a high level of commitment. I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over, building on everything we've just unpacked.
Lay it on us.
We established how Osaka's unique, rebellious, and direct identity was originally forged by merchants centuries ago. People who defied the strict aristocratic rules of Kyoto and the military hierarchies of Tokyo to build a culture based entirely on commerce and human connection.
The original cultural disruptor.
Exactly. So as Osaka continues to draw this incoming wave of modern, remote tech workers, startup founders, and digital nomads, people explicitly fleeing the high costs and corporate rigidity of places like Tokyo, how might this new generation inadvertently revive that exact same independent rebel merchant spirit in the 21st century?
Wow.
The trade has shifted from 16th century rice futures to modern software engineering, but the underlying mindset of disruption in commerce might be exactly the same.
Software engineers as the new merchants of Osaka. I can clearly see that evolution happening right now. We have covered a massive amount of ground today, from the shadows of Osaka Castle to the fine print of a digital nomad visa.
We really have.
Remember that image we started with? The giant mechanical octopus, the blazing neon reflecting in the water, the smell of the griddle. That is the kitchen of the nation waiting for you, provided you can figure out the paperwork. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you learned something new, and we encourage you to keep exploring. Catch you next time.